No.
Nice, sir. Started, sir.
Yeah, it's showing. I'm just waiting for others. We'll just wait for a minute for others to join.
Okay, sir.
I don't know if anybody has a difficulty to join. Okay, let's get started. People will join. That's fine. So see, we have to figure out a way to calculate the precision, recall, and all these measures. Okay. So what we'll be doing here is we'll be using something called macro precision and micro precision and everything. Okay, and how to do that is what we'll be doing. Okay, so what we need to do, or the first step that we need to do over here is for a multi-class. Am I audible? I am clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure, thanks. So what as a first step, what we need to do over here is, suppose say we have classification into 0, 1, 2, 3 classes. Okay, and what we need to do over here is, for y underscore test. Okay, that means in this test, not only in the training set as well. Okay, when you are calculating true positives, okay, you will calculate true positives with respect to class 0. Okay, this is one approach. Okay, you will calculate true positives with respect to class 1. You will calculate true positives with respect to class 2. Okay, uh, see, because true positives, how do you calculate? Okay, you have for binary classification, how did we do? You have white true, the actual label is 1, and you have a predicted value is also 1. Okay, that means when my actual label is 1, my predicted value is 1. Okay, you classify that particular example as a true positive. Okay, now when I mean by true positives for class 0, okay, so what you need to do is when you are calculating true positives for class 0, you should consider other classes, this class as a positive class, okay, and other two classes as a negative class combined together. Okay, so the first thing that you will be doing over here is you will be writing a for loop. Okay, for loop, say how many number of classes. Here for the iris dataset we have 3 classes. Okay, for each class you started calculating the say class index. We will define the class in range of 3. Okay, because total number of classes are 3. Okay, and for each class, first that you need to calculate how many are the positive samples and how many are the negative samples. So let's take let's temporarily classify, what do you say, let's take the value of uh, temp positive. Okay, and you calculate an array of temp negative. Okay, something like this. Okay, and then you will accumulate. Okay, you will accumulate all the examples. Okay, with class index. Say for the first iteration you have class 0. Okay, and you will collect all the examples. Okay, wherever what do you say, wherever you have what do you say, wherever you have a class 0 label, okay, you will denote it as 1, and wherever you don't have class wherever you don't have class 0 label, okay, you will denote them as zeros. Okay, and that means I'm in a way trying to calculate the recalculate the labels. Okay, based on the class index values, I'm calculating the labels back. Okay, that means in a way I am what do you say, for see, all these true positives and whatever that we are trying to do here, we are doing this analysis on the test data set, correct? So for the test data set, you will have y test. Okay, y test, which will be array of say 0 0 1 1 0 2 1 0 0 0. Okay, so now you will relabel them. Basically wherever class label is 0, you will make it as 1 1, and wherever it is not 0 0 0 0 0. Right, so I'm giving you a rough idea of the logic how it has to be done. Okay, so now you will calculate in that way. Okay, you will calculate the precision value for class 0. Okay, now you compute the once you do this thing, you will anyway have the confusion matrix for class 0. Okay, and that means you will have all the 4 values: TP for class 0, FP for class 0, TN for class 0, and what do you say, false negatives, FN for class 0. Okay, you will calculate these 4 values for class 0. Okay, in the same way you will calculate the 4 values for class 1. Okay, for when you are doing for class 1, okay, this will be the positive class and these two classes will be the negative classes. Okay, and you will calculate TP1, FP1, TN1, FN1. Okay, you will calculate this 4 values. Okay, if you once you have these 4 values, essentially you can anyways calculate the, what do you say, you can anyways calculate the value of precision, and you can also calculate the precision. Okay, and then once you have the precision for this, Okay, precision for class 0, and you have precision for class 1, and you have precision for class 2. Okay, now the overall precision of your system, of a multi-class system, what you can do is you can take the average of all these three precisions together and represent it as macro precision. Okay, this is called as a macro precision. As what do you say, macro averaged precision is what is the term that is given in the literature for this precision. Okay, is this process clear? This is what you have to implement. Okay, in the coming week, this is what I want you all to write the code for calculating this macro precision. Junita ma'am, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Pratibha ma'am, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Good. So this is called as a macro precision, where you calculate the precision for individual classes and average them together. Okay. And the next step is the called what we call it as a micro precision. Okay. What is micro precision is, what you will do here is you will calculate the true positive. See how do we define precision? What is the formula for precision?
True positives by positive predicted by model, sir.
True positives by
Total positives predicted by model.
true positives plus.
False positive.
Is this correct?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So what for a micro precision, what we will be doing here is, okay, we won't be, see, individually for micro precision also, you will calculate TP0, you will calculate FP0, you will be also calculating TN0, FN0. Okay, you will be calculating these four values again for each classes. TP2, FP2, TN2, FN2. Okay. So, but earlier macro precision, what did we do? We calculate the precision here, we calculate the precision here, we calculate the precision here, do the weighted average. Okay. But now what we will be doing in the micro precision is, okay, we will be calculating total number of true positives. We will be adding these three elements. Okay, that will be substituted here, and we'll be adding all the total number of false positives that you have got. Okay, and once you have that, okay, and using those values, essentially you will calculate the precision again, what you call this as a micro precision. Okay, you will call it as a micro average, micro averaged precision. Okay, so this is what you call it as a micro averaged precision. Whereas a micro average precision is, you calculate this precision, this precision, this precision, and take a weighted average. And now this is called as a micro average precision. Okay, this is micro average precision. Also, I want to see from all of you. Okay, so now another thing here is, we need to see what is the weighted precision. Okay, how weighted precision would be here is, okay, earlier what did we do? Okay, here we what do you say? This here we have taken precision 0, precision 1, and precision what do you say, 2. Okay, macro average precision, what did we do? Essentially, we have given the equal weightage to all the three precisions. Okay, but for the weighted precision, what we'll be doing here is we'll be doing a weighted average. PR2, W3, PR2. Okay, W0, W1, W2. Okay, by W0 plus W1 plus W2. This weight is the here total number of samples with class 0. Okay, total number of samples with class 0. And W1 is total number of samples with class 1. And W2 is total number of samples with class 2. Okay. Now this you call it as a weighted precision in the machine learning terminology. Okay. So these are the three things which I want you to code for the week to come as such. Okay. Is this clear? Whatever you have to do. Okay. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you have to do this on the Iris dataset. All of you take Iris dataset only. That's perfectly fine. And then you have to submit what do you say in the form of a slides. Maybe you can, or else you just do the code and then send it across to me. Okay. Anyways, whatever today's code is there, I'll send it across to you. Okay. And modify that for the Iris dataset and calculate all these three measures. Okay, precision and everything, and then send it across to me. Okay, and on top of this, what do you say? If you want to, if you can calculate the what do you see? What do you say? This AUC curve. Okay, for a multi-class scenario, I would highly appreciate that. For also you, I will highly encourage you to that as well. Okay. See, for drawing AUC curve, you need true positive rate and the false positive rate. Okay, and you will calculate the true positive rate for all the classes. Okay, and you will calculate the false positive rate for all the classes. Okay, again you can take it as a micro true positive rate or a macro positive true positive rate. You can calculate both the ways. Okay, and see how the AUC curve is coming for the micro case and the macro case. Okay, and see what should be the appropriate things that has to be done, that has to be taken care of there. Okay, that is slightly tricky. Okay, for now. If you're able to come up with some code, I would be more than happy for that. But that is up to you. You're up to your interest how to do that. But for the binary classification case, at least I would expect you to send me the Python code by Friday. Okay, by the next Friday, I would expect you, all of you, to send me the Python code. Okay. Any questions at this point of time?
Sir, actually, from the last week onwards, so many things have got accumulated, sir. Next week, maybe some 10-15 minutes we will have for the things that we have till now gone through, sir.
So, sorry, ma'am, can you please come again?
Sir, actually, last 2 weeks, so many things have got accumulated. So, can we have some 10 to 15 minutes discussion for each of the data sets, like for individually what they have taken in the next class session, sir?
Oh, yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Right. So, Pratibha ma'am, is this fine? Are you able to understand what has to be done?
Sir, micro precision, I didn't understand, sir.
Micro precision, you will calculate the confusion matrix for class 0. Okay. And you will calculate the confusion matrix for class 1. And in the same way, you will calculate the confusion matrix for class 2. Okay. And now for class 0, you know what is the total true positive, this thing, TP0. Okay. And TP1 also you have, and TP2 also you have. Okay. Now for calculating the precision, what is the formula that you have told me? TP by TP plus FP. Okay.
Yes.
And now in that TP value, whatever is there, you have to sum this TP0, TP1 and TP2.
Okay, sir.
Right. And then in the same way for FP as well. Okay. Once you do that, you have to take the ratio of it, and then you have to proceed forward.
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Right. The same thing applies for recall, true positive rate, false positive rate, right? So multiple things you can do, multiple different combinations you can do. Okay. And because area under the curve happens to be the most important metric that is used in machine learning systems, I always wanted to emphasize on that, and that is the reason I've spent almost like 2 weeks now, last week, and this week I was continuously talking about true positives, false positives, and everything. Okay. And in the next session, most likely what we'll do here is maybe we'll start leaning more towards deep learning and what has to be. I think all the fundamental components that you have to know for deep learning, I think that is almost there. But if there are any missing components are there, then the next Saturday session, what we'll be doing here is we will identify what are the different components of a deep learning system. Okay, and then we will cover based on that. The first few minutes, anyways, as Anita ma'am suggested, it's very important that we have to recap last 2 weeks, what has happened, and then we will take it forward from there. It's like initially few minutes we'll do that recap session, and then we will do the rest part later. Okay, so the missing components, whatever are the another few other missing few other components of a deep learning system, we'll see, and then start with basics of artificial neural networks, and we'll take it from there. Okay. I think nobody has joined other than 3 of you. Okay. Was there any problem? Why couldn't Ramya ma'am and Vijay sir couldn't join?
Sir, I'm here, sir.
They joined.
Sir, myself also, sir, I have joined.
Okay.
Sir. Yeah,
Okay. You listened completely all the micro precision, macro precision, whatever I've told.
No, sir. Actually, I'm in college today also, so I
Oh, okay. Vijay sir, were
won't
you able to
listen,
listen?
but I joined for the class.
Okay. Vijay sir, were you able to listen that micro, macro, whatever I've told?
yes, sir. Pratibha ma'am asked some doubts now, sir. Regarding, yeah. I will see.
Okay.
I will see this video, sir. Once again.
Okay, sir.
Karthik, sir.
Yes, madam.
For binary classification, the confusion matrix consists of only 4 elements.
Correct.
But here in this case of multinomial classification, the elements will be large.
Yes.
It's not
correct.
2 by 2. It is not 2 by 2 matrix.
Yes, correct. Right. So for a multi-class classification, generally how it is represented as is.
Sir, can you show that we have this for the binary classification? We can say it's a 2 by 2 TP, FPT, like that. In a matrix, we can show. Like that, how we are representing for this multinomial class, this true positive and all.
No. So that is how, ma'am. First initially you have to rearrange your data set for every class now. Okay, you have to do that positive, negative label assigning, and then once you do that for every class, you will calculate these set of parameters. Is this fine, madam?
No, sir. I have to arrange in matrix these values. I'm not getting, sir. For binary class, it is okay for me. It is a true positive like that we are seeing.
No, that is what I'm saying, ma'am. Suppose say now I have
How
y
will-
test. Okay, let's take say I have y test of in multinomial case, whatever you are saying. Okay, I have say these are the set of labels that I have.
Yes.
Okay, and now initially I have to create a new test, temporary test. Okay, where the values should be only 0 and 1. Okay, and this new test will be different for different classes. Okay, say for class 0, when you are trying to calculate this confusion matrix for class 0, okay, what you will do here is wherever you have class 0 label, okay, you will put as 1. Okay, the rest other places you will put 0.
That means
Okay.
confusion matrix of class 0 is again 2 by 2.
Yeah, class 0 is 2 by 2. 2 by 2. This is one way of representing, okay, these parameters. And the other way what people do here is, okay, they represent it like this. Okay, if my original class is 0, how many of them have the prediction value as 0? How many of them got classified into a prediction value of 1? How many of them have got into a prediction value of 2? Okay, if my original class is 1, how many of them are getting classified as 0? How many of them are correctly getting predicted as 1? How many of them are getting predicted as 2? Okay, from these numbers also, okay, actually you can compute these parameters, whatever parameters that I am talking about. Is this clear, madam?
Yes, yes, sir. But then what will we write inside this matrix, sir? The 2 cross 3 matrix?
No, this is 3 cross 3.
3 cross 3.
Right?
Okay, okay. Yeah, 3 cross
This,
3. The first column we represent it is TP0. First
this
element. Yeah, yeah, here.
TP0. Right, correct. What will be the second element
The
in terms of this?
FP0.
This man,
That one.
0, but
TP1.
TP1, sir.
this is TP2.
82.
Right. Now, if I have to calculate FP0, okay, then what should I do? What is meant by FP0? Okay, actual label is something else. Okay, but they are getting misclassified as class label 0. Okay, so what should I do? Suppose say I am calling this say x11, x22, x33, or if I represent this matrix as say let's consider, man, let's do this analysis. I think this is important. Okay, if I take this confusion matrix, if I denote it as capital X, okay, I have x00 as TP0,
TP0.
x11 as TP1, okay, x22 as TP2. Okay, if I have to calculate FP0, what is FP0? Actual label is something else. Okay, and but it is wrongly getting classified as class
Positive.
0. Okay,
False
if I take this axis as predicted labels and this axis as actual labels, okay, that means I am the row index is actual, okay, and the column index is the predicted. Okay, so now what should be the FP0? How do I calculate from these values, from this matrix? How do I calculate FP0?
Zero is
Sorry, madam.
x21.
Sorry.
x12 plus x23.
X
x12, x02, 01, x01
X01. Okay.
plus x03.
There is no 3, ma'am. 2.
Sorry, 2, sir. 2.
Okay. Okay. Correct.
First
So-
row, two last two components.
No, you want.
Sir, we need to fix the value there, no, sir, but that value.
Sorry, madam.
Sir, actually, this we need to fill in x of 0, 1 with FP zeros and in terms of TP1, no, sir.
No, you can do that also. What I said is, suppose say from this, actually you can, if you have this original, the predicted set of values and this original values, you can fill this matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Am I correct, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Right. Is this correct? Whatever Junita ma'am is saying is, if I represent this column index with predicted and what do you say, this actual index with respect to rows, okay, she's saying that if I add these two elements, I'll get FP0. Is this correct?
Sir, even columns also, no, sir?
Sorry?
Columns also. Sir, other than 0, 0, 0, the row and the column, the addition of, yes, sir, that element and the column bottom element also we need to take, no, sir?
Okay. You are saying that along with this, I have to take these two elements also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And let's try this. This is 1, 0 plus x of 2, 0. Okay. So now you say that false positives are calculated like this. Okay. Let's try to analyze this. Suppose say there must be some number here. Okay. What is that number indicating? Okay. Those many number of samples. Okay. Where the actual value was 0, but it had the prediction label of 1. Right. And this will have total number of samples where the actual label is 0, but it will have a total predicted value of 2. Okay. But what is FP0? Okay. Actual label is something else. Okay. But the predicted value is 0. Right. That means, okay, my actual label is something else. My actual label can be 1, but it got predicted as 0. Okay. My actual label is 2, but it got predicted as 0. Okay. That means, suppose say whatever the numbers are here, there must be some number here and there must be some other number here. When you add these two elements, okay, essentially you will get FP0. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Junita ma'am, is this clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I heard
Right.
it in reverse manner.
You cannot have these two terms. You will have only these two terms.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So the other way of extracting these set of parameters is, okay, if you have this 3x3 matrix, okay, you'll be able to estimate all these set of parameters. Okay, whichever way is feasible for you, you can do that way. Okay, I am leaving that part to you directly. Pratibha ma'am, is this fine? Any confusions?
No, sir.
See, in literature, they must be taking the predicted value here, actual level. See, ultimately, whichever convention you consider, okay, you based on the convention that you have considered, you just fill these values in this based on these two arrays. Okay, once you fill these values, you will be able to calculate these individual 4 parameters for each class. Okay, once you do that, you will be able to calculate the macro precision, micro precision, weighted precision, whatever it is, you'll be able to calculate very easily. Okay, So that is what you need to do. Okay, so I hope you are clear anyways. Okay, so I would highly suggest all of you not to keep the assignment until Friday. Okay, preferably finish in the next 2 days and then send the code to me. Okay, if you keep until Friday, then it will not finish on Saturday. Definitely, you will not be able to finish on Saturday, and then again, maybe you will be left without assignment, and then it will be like just attending another session, another webinar. That's it. Okay, you are not doing any practical assignment. That will be getting difficult for you over the period of time. I don't want that to happen. I would highly recommend. I would highly suggest every one of you to finish the assignment by Tuesday max. Don't keep until Friday. Okay, then go ahead. Have a great week ahead. Okay, that's all for today. We will start with some new topics in the coming days. So whatever metrics I wanted to tell in this session for this course, AUC is the ultimate metric that you will be using anyways. Okay. Of course, other precision recall curve and all those things are also important. Now that you know everything, and then I would highly recommend you to code them properly and then send them by Tuesday at max. But anyways, you have time until Friday. Okay. Okay. Have a great week ahead. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.